So, religion and social change. So when it comes to religion and social change, we're looking at it from another angle. So we're looking at the idea of social change, a source of conflict, and its role in maintaining stability. So if religion is a conservative force, it maintains stability, it keeps society the same. Revolutionary forces leads to a source of change or change in society. And a source of conflict can be related to revolutionary force, but it also, we can see religion cause conflict without necessarily causing a change. So some of these first arguments: religion as a conservative force. Religion's role is to keep society the same. Most of these theories are structural, they're macro approaches, they're looking at the role religion performs for the wider organisation of society, and it keeps society the same, promoting traditional values and beliefs. Functionalism is the first theory here. In this view, religion reinforces social solidarity. So Durkheim talked about how collective worship, value consensus, all create stability. It's part of that collective consciousness that's being formed. Parsons also saw that religion was a mechanism of adjustment, helping society and individuals cope during times of crisis or chaos. And again, for the ultimate purpose of keeping society the same. The New Right build on this, and ultimately their view is they're concerned with the breakdown of societal values and beliefs, and often religion is used to prevent breakdown of traditional values. Traditional Marxism, again, we're looking at a structural theory. It's about maintaining the structure, the organisation, the template of society. For Marxism, religion is also a conservative force, but the society it's keeping stable is that of a capitalist society. It reinforces and legitimates the class inequality between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. It maintains that power, so it keeps that false consciousness in place. It also acts as a cushion of oppression, helping people cope with inequality. Think back to Marx and the opium of the people arguments, or Lenin with his spiritual gin. Radical feminists are very similar to Marxism. They're making the same argument fairly much, that religion keeps society unequal. It keeps a division between two groups. In this case, it's men and women, and that power or that ideological force is patriarchy. But ultimately, the teachings of religion, the practices, the images, these are things that keep men and women separate and ultimately keep women in a subordinate position. So these arguments suggest religion is a conservative force. The force of change arguments come from a different set of theories. Now, they say religion is actually a revolutionary force, a force for change. It can cause big changes in the structures of society. The first of these is Weber. Now, Weber is best known for his Protestant work ethic thesis. Now, Weber's work focuses on the influence the Calvinists had, and he argues that religion of the Calvinists changed society. It brought in capitalism as a belief system, but also as an economic system. He linked this to their values of predestination, hard work, ascetic lifestyles. However, we do know there are criticisms that challenge Weber's either interpretation or how successful the Calvinists were in changing society. Nelson is a new argument here. Now, Nelson's main point comes from looking at historical examples. So he looks at examples of where religion has led to change. So the civil rights movement in America, Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the apartheid in South Africa, and the Iranian Revolution. So he looks at examples from history of religion causing a change, which is his justification for religion being able to cause a change. NeoMarxists, unlike traditional Marxists, they say that the dominant ideology is not fixed. They talk about this idea of hegemonic ideology. It can be changed. And ultimately, this element of autonomy. So institutions like religion do not just have to reinforce the economic values of capitalism. They can lead and create a change, acting as a voice for the oppressed. This is linked to liberation theology and the church being a revolutionary force leading to social change. And then liberal feminists, as a sort of final element here, so argue that religion is a form of freedom for women. So talking about issues like the veiling and sort of the role of women gaining dominant positions and changing nature of religion, suggest that religion is actually liberating and can lead to more social change and more female empowerment in society. And then there's this middle ground. These are arguments which could fit either side of the debate, depending on what you're arguing. So Maguire says that religion can lead to social change under the right conditions, and she highlights that for religions to lead to a change, there needs to be beliefs and practices which promote and encourage change action. The culture of society, the organisation of relationships of the religion and its relationship to society, the presence of a central authority figure. These are things which are required. So religion can cause change in some circumstances. What we also need to think about is fundamentalism. So think like the groups like the Westboro Baptist Church or Islamic State. These would be fundamentalist groups. They want to go to very traditional, very literal interpretations of religious texts. So it is changing society, but it's often changing backwards. So this is why it doesn't fit neatly into either side, because it's obviously going to maintaining a conservative force or even changing to a conservative force and conservative values as opposed to any kind of formal change. Now, just to look at some questions as a little extra addition here. What I've highlighted, found some 10 markers here, and I thought I'd highlight how they reflect the force of change or source of stability. So in green, you can see some 10 markers here and the wording is often fairly consistent. So religion's a force for change. Religion can create instability. Two ways religion is considered a force for change. In terms of the conservative force, I like the word inhibit social change in that second question. So inhibit meaning stop. But also these 220 markers, both effectively saying religion stops change, but it's the wording I thought was quite interesting, because we've got religious beliefs and organisations are conservative forces. So we need to talk about the belief systems, we need to talk about the structure, the organisation of religion and how that is a conservative force. We need to include that within our write-up. With the second one, we'd need to do the same because you've got beliefs and organisations. But often, again, is that word in the end, barriers to social change. So there we have the social change in religion argument, summed up both sides of the argument, the middle ground, and then a few exam questions here. Thanks for watching.